For the first lesson in Written Mathematics Quarter 1, we will have generating patterns. What is a pattern? A pattern may be defined as a sequence that repeats. Here are the examples of patterns in real life. We have mosquito coil, katol, honeycomb, constellations, arrangement of chairs in an auditorium, embroidery, sea waves, hollow blocks, and jigsaw puzzles. What is a pattern in mathematics? So in mathematics, patterns may be determined using a rule or a set of rules. These rules help to solve and calculate a particular math problem. For example, hindi ba sa school tinuturuan tayo kung paano ang pag-apply ng mga formula para masagot ang isang math problem? Like for example, if your teacher asks you to get the perimeter of a square, what will be the formula? So that is P equals 4S. So, ito yung rule niya para makuha yung perimeter ng square. At least, hindi ka na manghuhula o magsusukat pa para malaman lang kung ano ang perimeter ng square or any figure na ipapasagot sa'yo ng teacher. Mathematical patterns. Mathematical patterns may be classified as letters, numbers, and even shapes. For example, the letters in the alphabet are written in order. The first letter is A, followed by B and C. Numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. These are infinite. Unlike the letters in the alphabet, there are only 26 letters available. And then we can also use figures like geometrical shapes, square, triangle, circle. What is a sequence? A sequence is a series of numbers that follows a repetitive sequence or pattern. Each number, letter, or symbol in a sequence is called term. What about sequence in mathematics? So we define sequence in mathematics as a function whose domain is a finite set or infinite set. So ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ng finite sequence sa infinite sequence? So let's have finite sequence. Finite sequence is a sequence with a particular number of terms. For example, the number of terms of the given sequence is 5, wherein the first term is 100, the second term is 300, third term is 500, fourth term is 700, and the last and fifth term is 900. So kung mapapansin natin dito, ang number of terms ng finite sequence ay 5. So what about an infinite sequence? So an infinite sequence is a sequence with uncountable number of terms. From the word uncountable, hindi siya nabibilang. Okay, for example, the first term of the given sequence is -1, second term is 1, third term is 3, fourth term is 5. We all know that the fifth term of this sequence is 7. Again, paano siya naging infinite sequence? Naging infinite sequence siya because of the 3 consecutive dots written right after the fourth term, which is 5. So kapag ginamit po natin yung 3 consecutive dots na yan, ini-indicate niya na ang sequence ay infinite. So ang tawag po dyan sa math is ellipsis. Once po na nakita yan, ini-indicate po niya na ang sequence ay infinite. But, there are some cases na ginagamit ang ellipsis para ma-shortcut lang yung mga sinusulat. Like for example, if your teacher asks you to write 1 to 20, you don't need to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, pwede tayong mag-shortcut. Like for example, 1, 2, 3, comma, ellipsis, and then 20. So again, finite sequence siya because after ellipsis, meron pa siyang term which is 20. What if kasi, your teacher asks you to write 1 to 100. Anong shortcut doon? 1, 2, 3, comma, ellipsis, comma, 100. Okay. Para hindi na lang matagal ang pagsulat. Next. So there are types of number sequences. We have arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence, harmonic sequence, Fibonacci sequence, square numbers, cube numbers, and triangular numbers. These types of number sequence will be discussed sa mga susunod pang mga module. So like for example, katapos man describing patterns, generating patterns, ang type of sequence sa pag-aaralan natin ay arithmetic sequence. Let's have the first example. Identify the next letter in the given sequence below. So we have letter A, D, G, J, and then yung question mark. So isang letter lang ang hinahanap natin. So let's study the patterns. So ilang letters ang nasa pagitan ng A tsaka D? So dalawa. And these are letter B and C. What about between D and G? That is correct. Letter E and letter F. What about between G and J? So, dalawa din siya. H and I. If you will take a look at the sequence, nag-i-skip lang tayo ng dalawang letters para makuha yung mga susunod na term. So, basically, after J, mag-i-skip lang tayo ng dalawang letra, makukuha na natin yung term na hinahanap natin. So, after J, there are two letters. And these are K and letter L. So what letter comes after J? So that is M. Correct. Second, let's have the second example. Supply the missing letter in the given sequence below. So the given sequence is Y, T, O, J, and then question mark. So what have you noticed? That is correct. So the letters are written in decreasing order, pababa. Okay. So anong mangyayari dyan? Ganito lang siya. Isipin mo, ilang letters ang nasa pagitan ng Y and T kapag nilista natin sila ng pababa? That is correct. 4. And these letters are X, W, V, and U. What about between T and O? Again, 4 letters. S, R, Q, P. Between O and J. Correct. These letters are N, M, L, and K. So, kung titignan natin yung sequence natin, we skip 4 letters to find the next terms. So, kung ganito, madali na lang sa atin para makita kung ano ang susunod na term after J. So, maglilista ulit tayo ng 4 letters. These are I, H, G, and M. Now, what letter comes after J? That is letter E. So letter E is the term after J, after writing 4 letters. Let's have the third example. Determine the missing letter in the given sequence below. F, H, K, O, question mark. So, in this case, ang order niya is increasing. So, let's search for patterns. So, ilang letters ang nasa gitna ng F and H? That is correct. Isa, which is letter G. What about H and K? So, there are 2 letters. These are I and J. Correct. What about between K and O? So, there are 3 letters, which are L, M, and N. So, kung mapapansin natin yung patterns, nagdadaglag lang tayo ng isang letter kada term. So, sa unang term, isang letter ang nasa gitna nila. 2 naman sa pangalawa at pangatlo. At 3 naman sa pagitan ng third and fourth term. So, ilan letters ang kailangan nating i-insert para makuha ang susunod na term after O? So, 4 po. And these letters are P, Q, R, S. So, question, what letter comes after O? That is correct. Letter T. Let's have the fourth example. Determine the missing number in the given sequence below. So, kung kanina letters ang pinag-usapan natin, ngayon naman, numbers. So, let's have the first example, 3, 7, 11, 15, and then question mark. So again, take a look at the sequence, increasing siya. So, kapag numbers po ang pinag-uusapan at increasing order siya, ganyan. So, usually, ang magiging ano lang niya, ang operation lang niya usually is addition or multiplication. Okay. Kapag naman decreasing siya, it's either subtraction or division. Okay. For example, ano ang i-add natin sa 3 to get 7? That is 4. To get 11, we need to add also 4 to 7. What should be added to 11 to get 15? That is correct. We also add 4. Now, that will be easy to get the next term because mag-add nga lang tayo ng 4 sa 15. Yan. Question is, what number comes after 15? Basically, 15 plus 4 equals 19. So 19 is the term that we are looking for. Let's proceed. Let's have the fifth example. Identify the missing number in the given sequence below. 34, 28, 22, and then question mark. So in this case, as I've said, ang order niya is decreasing. So it means it's either subtraction siya or division. So let us search for patterns. So dito, ang gagawin lang natin is mag-subtract tayo ng number to get the next term. Question, what should be subtracted from 34 to get 28? So that number is 6. And then 28 minus 6 equals 22. So to get the next term after 22, we will subtract again 6. So what number comes after 22? 22 minus 6 equals 16. That is correct. Let's have the sixth example. Supply the missing number in the given sequence below. 5, 10, 20, and so on. So, isang number lang ang hinahanap natin dito. Okay. So, let us search for patterns. So, dito, ang gagawin lang natin is magmumultiply tayo ng number to get the next term. So, what should be multiplied to 5 to get 10? So, that is times 2 dapat. And then, magmumultiply ulit tayo ng 2 sa 10 para makuha yung 20. Now, what is the next term after 20? Using the same number, 20 times 2 equals 40. So, kung halimbawa, challenge nga ni teacher na kunin yung pang 10 number. So, ang pinakamadaling paraan lang dun is mag-multiply ka ulit ng 2 hanggang sa makuha mo yung 10 number, pang 10 number na hinihingi ni teacher. Pero, what if kung 100? Diba? Yung hinihingi niya, yung pang 100 na term. So, pag ganun, gagamit na po tayo ng formula for sequence na i-discuss ko po sa mga susunod na video. Next. Let's have the seventh example. Identify the missing number in the given sequence below. 162, 54, 18, and then question mark. So, kung mapapansin ulit natin, ang numbers are decreasing. So ang operation lang dito usually is subtraction or division. So, ang gagawin lang natin dito is division. So, mag-iisip tayo ng number. Ano ba ang di-divide sa 162 para makuha ang 54? That is divided by 3. And then, to get 18, i-divide ulit natin yung second term sa 3. That will become 54 divided by 3 equals 18. Next, 18 divided by 3, makukuha na natin yung susunod na term. Now, what number comes after 18? That is, 18 divided by 3 equals 6. So, 6 is the term that we are looking for. Let's have the eighth example. Determine the next two numbers in the given sequence below. So, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and then the two missing numbers. So, yan, increasing order na naman siya. It's either multiplication siya or addition. So let us try searching for patterns. So kung mapapansin natin, ang dalawang unang numbers, ina-add sila to get the third term. And then to get the fourth term, we need to add 1 and 2, the second and third term. And so on. So ganun lang ang patterns niya. So ganito ang magiging solution niya. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 3 plus 5 equals 8. 5 plus 8 equals 13. Now, to get the next term after 13, we need to add 8 and 13. So 8 plus 13 equals 21. Next, to get the term after 21, we need to add 13 and 21. And that is 34. So in mathematics, ang tawag po sa sequence na to ay Fibonacci sequence. So, huwag kayong mag-alala. Ang Fibonacci sequence ay i-discuss ko po yan sa mga susunod na videos. Let's have the ninth example. Count the number of squares. So, dito, we will no longer use figures like numbers and letters. Instead, we will be using shapes, geometrical objects. So, in here, ginamit niya is square. Ayan. So, may tatlong magkakaibang square dito. Magkakaibang sukat ng square na nakagiven. So, ang gagawin lang daw natin is to count them. So, let's start counting. So, on the first square, kitang-kita naman po ang number of square na available is only 1. And then, on the second square, kung bibilangan natin, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, the total number of squares is 4. And then, on the third figure, the total number of squares is, that is correct, 9. Okay, so, di ba, napakadali lang ng pattern niya. So, kung ganito, what if naman si teacher, tinanong ka niya, 1, ilan ang total number of squares kung 100 by 100 ang sukat niya? Okay, so 'di ba? Napakatagal nun kung i-drawing natin. So ang pinakamadaling paraan ay ganito. So keep in mind. So the formula to get the number of squares is n squared. Okay, halimbawa, yun nga tinanong ka ni teacher. Ilan ang total number of squares kung 100 by 100 yung sukat ng square? So ang gagawin mo lang is multiply 100 by itself. That is 100 times 100. The answer is 10,000. So, 10,000 ang bilang ng squares. So, 100 by 100. So, let's have the 10th and final example. Count the total number of squares of different lengths per figure. Okay. So, anong pinagkaiba nitong problem na to? Ang set of figures na to sa 9th example natin. So, kanina, binilang lang natin yung mga square base sa nakikita natin. So, ngayon, ang gagawin naman natin dito, kukunin natin yung mga bilang ng square na may iba't ibang sukat. So, kung makikita nyo, ayan, magkakaroon tayo ng iba't ibang sukat ng square. Like, for example, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, and so on, based sa given figure natin. Okay. So, let's start counting. So, sa unang square, kung makikita nyo talaga, isa lang ang square na isang sukat lang ng square makikita. So, 1 lang. Pero sa pangalawa, kung titignan natin siya, so, ang bilang ng square ay 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yung mismong kabuuan na square, which is a 2 by 2 square. So, ilan ang total squares na meron tayo sa figure na yan? That is correct, 5. Next, on the third figure, so, bibilangin natin yung mga 1 by 1 square muna. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, ang bilang ng 1 by 1 squares dito ay siyam. What about kung 2 by 2? So, ganito ang mangyayari kung 2 by 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, meron tayong apat na 2 by 2 squares. And the last one naman, ipapakita natin is yung 3 by 3 squares. So, ang 3 by 3 square ay nag-iisa lang. Ito lang mismo, itong kabuuan. So, kung i-add natin yon 9 plus 4 plus 1, ang bilang ng squares na may iba't ibang haba ay 14. So, keep in mind, so the formula of the sum of the squares is, ayan. So, given po ang formula niya. Kasi, what if kung ang bilang nga ng square ay 100? So, mahihirapan tayo na magbilang kung gagawin natin siya in manual. So, yan ang formula niya. N times the quantity n plus 1 times quantity 2n plus 1 all over 6. So, anong n dyan? So, yung n po dyan is the number of sides of the square. So, let's apply the formula. So, gamitin natin yung 3 by 3 figure ng square kanina. So, that will become n equals 3. And then, applying the formula, so, isa-substitute lang po natin yung 3 in place of n. So, that will become, yan. Yan po ang magiging itsura niya. And then, we will add 3 and 1. That is 4. 2 times 3, 6. So, pag ganun po ang nangyari, ito po ang kalalabasan niya. Next, what is 6 plus 1? 7. Ayan. So, that will become 3 times 4 times 7 all over 6. So, para mapabilis ang pagkuha natin ng sagot, magka-cancel out tayo ng may mga common terms. Like for example, 3 and 6. So, on 3 and 6, may common factor sila which is 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then, pwede rin tayo mag-cancel out yung 4 tsaka 2. Ayan. Pero, nasa sa inyo na yon. So, 4 times 7 is 28. Divided by 2, the answer is 14. So, clearly, ang total number of squares ng 3 by 3 square is 14. Tamang-tama dun sa nakuha natin kanina. So, sana may natutunan kayo dito sa video. So, up next, finding the terms of a sequence given the nth term and vice versa. So, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga susunod pang videos about grade 10 mathematics. Yun lang. Maraming salamat.